always fun to catch up with a riser in the coaching profession that a lot of people may not know in the Central Virginia area, but he's going to get Halifax back on the map. He's one Mike Roark. The Blue Comets this week will host another Piedmont District foe when they play host to Magna Vista. Coach Roark talks about that game as well as last week's win against Martinsville when I caught up with him this past Sunday. It's Mike Roark on the Sports Buffet Podcast.
Always love catching up with one of the good guys in the high school football business, Mike Roark, head coach of the Halifax County Blue Comets. And, Coach, we talked to you early in the year. Before we get to reviewing last week and previewing this week, how have things been going overall for you guys as a team?
Oh, they're great. It's a process. We can't do it in a year. So, our biggest thing right now is we just got to get that consistency where we get the same stuff happening every week and not up and down like we've been for the last couple of weeks. And we're working on moving in that direction.
When you talk about consistency, define consistency. I mean, is it consistency a game-to-game thing? Is it a quarter-to-quarter thing? I mean, does it start in practice? How do you define consistency when talking about the Blue Comets?
How about D, all of the above?
That'll work.
And that's what it is, definitely game-wise, definitely quarter-wise, definitely play-wise, definitely player-wise. There are days where last week we had all the cylinders kicking, but there's still a few things we need to fix. 2 weeks ago, it was a nightmare up, down here in Halifax, and we've got to be consistent week in and week out.
Is there one thing that your guys have gotten better with, whether it be a practice thing, a game thing, or just anything from game one to where we are now?
We're battling better. Now, with the exception of one game, we don't turn, we're not turning things off. We're fighting till the end of the game, and that's showing, and the kids are feeling better about themselves about it because of that.
Before we talk about Magna Vista, let's review Martinsville. Martinsville, a very athletic club. Talk about what you saw good for you guys aside from the result.
Well, of course, Alonzo Bennett has been huge. He's got 670 yards rushing, and he's only played in 3.5 games and 7 touchdowns. So we're moving the ball well. We're trying to be a little more physical than what's been in the past. We're trying to pound them a little bit more inside the tackles. At the same time, we'll get outside on the edge. We're back in the 3-3 stack on defense. We got more athletes on the field, and we're running people down. So those are positives. We blocked 2 punts, did a couple of 2-point conversions, and scored on special teams last week too. So we really kicked it in pretty good on all 3 aspects.
I'm sure you've digested the film at least once, if not more. Who is somebody that really stood out to you that might not have stood out to people sitting in the stands?
Well, our middle linebacker, Trey Morgan's just been doing a fantastic job. We finally put somebody there who's got that natural ability to find the ball, and he's making some tackles in the backfield, running people down sideline to sideline. So defensively, definitely been Trey. Then Chris Bosch has been at nose, and we moved Chris over to nose. That's the biggest thing. We're still, it's week 5, and we're still finding pieces to the puzzle. I think we found most of them last week, at least on the defensive side. Offensively, I said Alonzo and Tyler Stevens been doing a good job of managing the game for us on the offense. So we'll see what we can keep doing with that.
Before we talk about Magna Vista, your bye comes at a pretty decent time, in my opinion. Not only is it my dad's birthday, that's not the decent part of it, but it's before you hit the Western Valley District schedule. Do you like how the bye is situated?
I do this year. It doesn't help any. We open right up with Franklin and Patrick Henry either. So that's, we'll go watch Chris play, and we'll just watch them. I saw a video, watching tape today on how they just, they pound people. And it's that type of a conference, so it's going to give us a chance to rest up a little bit and see what we can make happen.
I know with the way the Virginia High School League structures the point systems, we can't say that non-district games don't matter. But do you kind of have the guys looking ahead to the big picture of the district with these games, with you being in your first year and, not everything is set like you want it to, I'm sure, yet?
No, we're still going one day at a time, one game at a time. That's all we can do. From the coaching staff, from the players, we've got, we're going to come in tomorrow, we're going to lift, we're going to watch film on Friday night, and once we do that, we'll start showing some tape on Magna Vista. We'll start putting in the adjustments tomorrow afternoon, and it's all week long. It's Magna Vista.
What impresses you about Joe Favero's Warriors?
They are fast. I mean, it's like playing Brad Bradley all over again. You know, they got a good quarterback, got a couple of good receivers, and a running back. They want to get that ball into space. And the thing I've noticed is they've been very opportunistic. Is that the correct word?
I believe it is.
They've gotten some great breaks on defense, and they take advantage of them. So we got to make sure we don't just give them freebies.
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask about the English language, Coach, as well. So we'll leave the big words to those real smart people. But let's talk a little bit, too, about, Magna Vista loses a guy in Harvey Taylor, who was the Player of the Year last year for ABC 13's Football Friday and probably could have been Player of the Year in a lot of people's eyes. How much have you seen in terms of just the quarterback position, what you've seen out of the quarterback position with it? Can you tell that he's a first-year starter?
No. I would say he's one of those kids they just reloaded at that position. That kid's pretty good.
We look at another interesting experience you had this year before we get to the keys of the game. I believe it was the game against EC Glass where you had the opportunity to be mic'd up by ABC 13. What did you think of the experience?
It was fun. I'd call Greg Mullins when I heard about it just to talk to him because he knew about it. He did it the week before. You sit there for a minute or two, then you go, dang it, I shouldn't be saying that. Then you forget about it, and, it moves on. I wish the results would have been better in the game. I might have listened to it a few more times, but it was pretty ugly that night.
Let's talk finally about the keys to the game. And, Coach, it's always a pleasure to have you on. One key offensively, one key defensively, and one key special teams that gives you guys at least one more point than Magna Vista on Friday.
We got to move the sticks. If we can play our game on offense, we'll keep their offense off the ball, and that's actually a good defensive strategy for us as well. Defensively, being in the stack, we've got to make sure we play our assignments. We can't give up the big plays. And I'm pretty special team-wise right now. We just got to stay the course. They run, we got to make sure we cover people up, and we don't let something funky happen to us, and they get quick ones like that. We got to put them and tackle them deep and make them work.
Coach, is always fun. I look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Same here, buddy. Have fun.